What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and if you remember, a couple weeks ago, I did a video series where I talked about all of the cards in the Scarlet and Violet era that are in that $30, $40, $50, $60 range, and I did a comparison as to how many cards from the Sword and Shield era are currently in that price range as well, and we talked about, hey, we all know the singles market right now is a little bit hot. Matter of fact, I got a really cool video coming out on Friday where we're going to look at the singles market as a whole and why there might be a slight downturn coming. Who knows? But we certainly have some data to back that claim up, so I'm very excited about that one. But the whole point of the previous video was saying, hey, listen, we should be approaching this market with a little bit of trepidation. There's a lot of cards that are getting really frothy. At the end of the day, what I'm looking for particularly, I want big names on awesome artwork from amazing sets. However, my good friend and the gentleman who helps me do all of these thumbnails and is a key part of the PikiPikaPapa family, BA team player, he reminded me through Discord the other day, he's like, hey, listen, man, I know that price range in the $40, $50, $60 range is getting a little oversaturated. He said, but there's still a ton of cards under $10 right now in the Scarlet and Violet era that we should be paying attention to. And he was spot on as always. He shared a couple cards with me that we're going to look at in this video, and there really is, believe it or not, as frothy as the market is right now, I think there are some awesome cards with some amazing artwork, and some of them even have some of the biggest names in the Pokemon space on them that are under $10, and in my mind, represent some opportunity for future price appreciation. Now, if we're being honest with ourselves, the odds of any of these cards under $10 shooting up to $50, $60, $100 down the road probably isn't there. However, it doesn't mean that you can't find some solid cards under $10, which are really cool to add to the binder collection, which give you the opportunity for some future price appreciation. So with all that being said, I'm telling you, I am stoked for this list. There's some awesome cards on here, and I love the fact that any and everybody has the opportunity to add them into their Poke collection, because I think that's what makes this hobby so great. So before we get into this list, we do fun stuff like this all the time, so if you've been watching this channel and you haven't done it yet and you find value in it and you think it's somewhat cool, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Those two small things go a really long way in helping my small channel out, and I really appreciate it. So with that out of the way, let's start down this journey of 10 awesome cards that are still under $10. Now, the first card on this list, remember I said some of these are going to incorporate some of the biggest names in the Pokemon space. We're starting off with a Charizard card, and what I love about this is not only do you have a Charizard card, but this is coming from one of the best sets in the Scarlet and Violet era as far as I'm concerned. I still think the set is undervalued considerably compared to a lot of its peers out there. And we're talking about Paldea Fates. Look at the list of cards on Paldea Fates. Go to TCG Player, Pokedata.io, whatever you want to. You have the Bubble Mew, like a card with its own nickname, sitting up there at $400. Then you have the Charizard, second to that, sitting at $200. You got the Gardevoir, which is working its way up. It's at $90 right there. You got shiny baby Pokemon. The set is going to be awesome in the long run. Is it going to be top 5 from the entire Scarlet and Violet era? Probably not. But is it going to be an awesome set? Yes, you can guarantee yourselves that. And then you have this Charizard promo card, which comes from the tins. So I don't know if you remember this or not. There were 3 different tins that came out when Paldea Fates came out. And this was one of them. There was a Charizard one. Now, is this the best artwork? No, it's not the best artwork. Is it incredibly unique one-off artwork? No, it's not either. But remember, we're looking at cards that are under $10 right now. If the artwork was absolutely fire and if it was really, really unique, you know, the price wouldn't be under $10. But the thing I love about this is I think there are going to be a lot of people out there who are keeping those tins sealed for the long runs, which I do think is going to keep the number of these that are in population relatively slow. Also remember this, when you think about cards that come from any kind of tin or box where they're put into the plastic, like the Pokemon company for whatever reason loves to shoehorn those things in there, so the gem rate on this card is going to be incredibly low. Now I know the market price is $10.04 and we're supposed to be talking about cards under $10, but hey, I got a little journalistic leeway here, so we're going to put this one at number 1 at $10.04. Love the card. Love the set that it comes from, love the tin that it's in. I think all of those things make this an awesome card to start the list off with. Now, the next card that we're talking about right here comes from an amazing set. Surging Sparks is going to be an absolutely fantastic set, and you'll notice a theme as we go through here. I like promo cards, I like cards that come from big sets, and Surging Sparks is certainly going to be one of the big sets from the Scarlet and Violet era. And this Braviary card right here, look at the artwork on this thing is absolutely stunning. It's super unique. The artwork is is engaging. You have all the blues and the oranges and the reds, and it is just a special, special card. And we've seen really cool artwork like this. Look at the Ceruledge, right? The Ceruledge in the set is performing really well, and we have another card with similar artwork like that in Prismatic Evolution. So the uniqueness of the artwork, combining the fact that it's coming from a really cool set in Surging Sparks. It's at $8.02 right now, and one of the things that I like about this is, yeah, you're gonna look, okay, it's up 100% over the last 3 months, but remember, it started off as a $3 card. It was way too low to begin with, so it's still sitting sub $10 at $8.02. I think this is a fantastic card to add to the personal collection, whether it ends up being a $20 card in the long run or not. I mean, this is what the Pokemon hobby is all about. Outstanding artwork, awesome Pokemon, amazing sets. Like, this card checks every single box for me, and again, I love the fact that it's kind of been an organic growth. You don't see that big spike that we've seen in some of the other cards here as of late that have been popping off in the Scarlet and Violet era. So next card on the list right here comes from the Scarlet and Violet base set, and Kingambit here. I love this card. I love it's a little edgy. It's got a little darkness to it, right? You got a whole army right there getting ready to get after it, and it's coming in sub $7 at $6.64. And this is another card where you look at how the price has been gradually increasing over time, same way we saw on the Braviary card, right, prior to that. And when you look, the bright blue line, that represents how the price has changed over time. And those light blue bar graphs, which shoot up. The thing that I like about this card is if you look at the sales volume, which is what those blue columns represent, the light blue ones, you'll see that the sales volume has gradually been increasing really over the last 4 or 5 months. So that is nice, steady, organic growth. You've got an awesome artwork card here from Scarlet and Violet base set, which has shown a lot of interest here. Another one where early Scarlet and Violet sets had abysmal gem rates. So the gem rate on this card is going to be relatively low. And again, you're starting to see some nice steady growth. It is still under $7. It's $6.64. What an incredible piece of artwork to be able to pick up at a super approachable price point. Next one on the list, this one might shock some people, but I actually had this card on another list not long ago when I was talking about cards, you know, Black Star promos that I thought had like this really dark horse opportunity to do big things long into the future. So you've got this Pikachu card, and this is from the Paldea Adventure chest, and that is a chest that's got 6 different packs in it. It's got stickers. It's really geared towards the core of the Pokemon space, which is kids, which I absolutely love it. I bought each of my kids one of these. It's got one of the little binders in there where you can put like 7 or 10 cards in. I don't know, it's just got a whole lot of knickknacks and doodads in it that the kids absolutely lose their mind over. Now, it does have a decent selection of early Scarlet and Violet packs in it, but I really like this promo card. I think this promo card is going to end up, as it should, in the hands of a lot of kids out there. I think that's going to lead to the fact that further down the road, I don't think there's going to be as many of them. Kids have the chance, you know, kids lose cards. My kid lose cards all the time, right? They lose cards, they get ruined, they get lost, etc., etc. And I think anytime we see a Pikachu, which is front and center on a card like this, and you have other Pokemon in there, we've seen, if you look at the most expensive Pikachu cards out there and you just scroll through it, you see a lot of these, I call them Pikachu and Friends cards, where Pikachu has some buddies around it. They do have a general tendency over the long run to perform really well. So the fact that I believe that this card in the long run is probably going to be a little bit rarer to find in good condition, and the fact that I don't think there's going to be a lot of this sealed further down the road. I think a lot of these Paldea Adventure boxes are going to be opened. I think that could give this card a really outside chance at doing something special further down the road. And at the end of the day, you're buying a fantastic, awesome artwork Pikachu card for sub $10. You just can't ask for more than that. This is fantastic, and I had to add it on the list once again. The very next one right here is purely an artwork play, right? You have the Archaludon right here, and it's from Stellar Crown, which I think is a little bit of a sleepy set. I think it's flying under the radar a little bit, and this card is at $3. This far into the video, we've already seen multiple cards which had been at $3 and have already, you know, 1x, 2x, all the way up into the $6, $7, $8 range, and I think this card could be it. We'll have to see. You know, obviously not the biggest name Pokemon in the world, but you have a fantastic illustration rare here, which some really approachable, really cool artwork, and again, it's $3. A lot of these cards that we're talking about here, you got to weigh the risk versus reward, and $3 is not a whole lot of risk with the opportunity for this to multiply in the future. Now, when you're thinking about it too, you got to remember, hey, if I do sell this in the future, there's going to be selling fees and shipping and all of that, unless you're selling locally or something. So, you know, that's going to take a big bite out of the lower dollar card. So think about that as well if that's your long-term purpose. But again, $3 for a card like this with such incredible artwork, I am all about that all day, twice on Sundays. Think it's absolutely fantastic. Now, The next one, and I was trying not to do prismatic evolutions because it's too new, but I will say this. This is the Eevee Black Star promo, which comes from the Elite Trainer boxes, and it's sitting at $10.59 right now. And actually, over the last month, it's down about 12%. Not much with Eevee on it is down over any time period, about over the last year. So to see this one coming down 12%, I think a lot of people know that the Pokemon Company has come out and said, we're going to do a very healthy, is what they say, reprint or restock of Paldea Evolved. So maybe people are thinking, hey, there's going to be tons of these cards far into the future, but in my mind, I think that those, no matter how much they produce, I think when you're thinking 5, 10, 15 years from now, those Elite Trainer boxes are going to still go for a good amount of money. The set's just too fire. The depth is too broad. You know what I mean? All of the Eevee and Evolution cards, like, it's just too great for it not to be worth a ton of money further into the future. And I think this card is going to organically grow with them. Now, it's nowhere near what you get for the Pokemon Center exclusive stamped promo. Obviously, I'm a big fan of that. I have 3 of those. But this one right here, coming in at $10.59, is another one that I think has the opportunity to do really well. Are you going to see it in the short run? Absolutely not. But it's a lot to be said to go ahead and lock some of these in and get them in the personal collection. And while we're talking about this one, I figure we have to talk about the Snorlax from 151. This is another one. Those 151 Elite Trainer boxes are going for a ridiculous amount of money right now. I'm not even talking about the Pokemon Center exclusive ones, right? I'm just talking about those regular old ETBs. And think about it, 151 is getting older and older and older and farther away from these reprint cycles. And you know, I know we just had the Blooming Waters box come out. I know that we're still going to see more of it in the wild. It's going to happen. But every month that goes by, in the back of my mind, we get closer to that 2-year mark. And there's nothing written in stone, but we know traditionally, once your set gets to be 2 years old, the odds of reprints and restocks starts to drop a little bit. So I keep that in the back of my mind as I'm thinking about 151 products. And this Snorlax card, again, as the ETB goes up, I fully expect this card to go up in value. And again, if you look at those light blue bar graphs, you'll see that there's a lot of spikiness there, but also if you were just to trend line this out, the sales volume has been steadily increasing over the last couple months. So coming in at $7.32, I think this is an absolute steal. And any of these, if you can get them sealed, as far as I'm concerned, that's the way to go. Get them in the cellophane, and it just, for me, that's the way I want to collect these cards for the long run. Next one right here, I don't even call this the Palafin, I call this the Swolefin, right? Look at this dude. He is absolutely buffed up, jacked out, sitting there with his army of dolphins, getting ready to get after it. I just love the artwork on this one. This is one of the ones which, unlike the other ones we've seen in this video, it is pretty spiky when you look at the price there. You can see that there was a whole lot have been bought over the last month or so, and you see that the price has gone really aggressively up. So maybe this is one of the ones that will see a downturn. But again, sub $6 card. You're talking $5.45. Also, Palafin is going to become really, really relevant. There's obviously a really awesome one in Prismatic Evolutions too, so I like that it might get the halo effect, right? People are going to love that Prismatic Evolutions card. They're going to see this one from Obsidian Flames, which has abysmal gem rates as well, so it'll be interesting to see, you know, if that other card from Paldea Evolved can kind of help lift this one up. Obviously, in the short run, it looks like it has, up 218% over the last 3 months. I mean, this was a sub $2 card not too long ago, and now it's still sub $6 at $5.45. Risk versus reward. I think this is a stunning piece of art that, man, for sub $6, you can do far, far worse than adding this to the old binder collection. And this one right here, we got Quaxwell right here. Again, another one from Paldea Evolved, and I love Paldea Evolved. I've talked for the last year about how much I love Paldea Evolved. I think it's got a great combination of cards. I think the gem rates being incredibly low is going to be a boost to it. I love that Magikarp card at the very top. I think that's going to be one of the iconic cards from the Scarlet and Violet era, which is just going to organically lift all of the other ones up. And again, we're looking at another card here, which is sub $6, coming in at $5.72. He looks like he's got a mega mind moment going on, right? Got his hands on his head, getting ready to get after it. So from an artwork perspective, check that box. From a set perspective and Paldea Evolved, check that box. And then again, coming in at sub $6, it's just hard to do worse than this card right here. The final one on the list, and I'm a big fan of this one as well, another card from Stellar Crown. And listen, my oldest kid is a huge soccer fan. This Raboot card, right, makes me think of soccer. I love the artwork in the winter, kicking the snowballs around. So this one is personally here because it's just one of my favorites. I don't know what the long-term outlook is for this. I will say over the last 3 months, it is up 118%. Another card that was sub $3 less than a couple months ago, and now it's sitting at sub $7 at $6.56. So Really cool card, really cool artwork. You know, if Scarlet and Violet era ends up being this really, I don't know, it could be a very special era. I know we say that towards the end. Whenever we get into it, we always think that the end of this era, that's the greatest era of all time, and then the next generation rolls out, and for the first year we think it's trash. I actually talked about that in a video the other day, but I do think Scarlet and Violet has some really awesome things. I think that interest is at an all-time high right now. I think that collectability and investability is at an all-time high, so it's just going to be interesting to see what happens here in the near future. So I'm super excited about this card. I'm super pumped for this list. I hope you had a ton of fun. I'm sure I missed one of your favorite cards under $10. And if I did, let me know in the comments down below what you think is the best card under $10 right now. I appreciate you so much for watching. I hope you have an epic one. And if you made it to the end, hit that subscribe button or give us a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Have a good one. See you, everybody. Bye.